Okay, it's cruise day today, guys. Oh my gosh, it's cruise day today. And right now I actually just came from my son's school because he they had a Mother's Day like breakfast. And basically what it was they set a breakfast in the front of the school, or in the front, like the lobby area, and they were just giving breakfast out so that we could take it with us. I thought that we would get breakfast and sit down and have breakfast with each other, well, with my son. But I kind of understand the concept, because if I was to sit down and have breakfast with him, he would probably be a little bit attached and think I'm gonna spend the whole day with him when I'm not. And also, like, it's gonna inconvenience some parents where if they have to go to work, yeah, they had to go to work, then they would it would be a little hard for them to stay and have breakfast. So I don't know, I thought this was gonna be my first Mother's Day breakfast with my son type of thing, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm all right. I'm okay. But yeah, so he likes when I drop him off from school because he acts so good, but he didn't know that I'm gonna be dropping him off to school and I won't be picking him up and I won't be home when he gets back. So I kind of try to tell him, and I mean, I think he understands like a little bit, because I was saying, "Oh, I'm going on a cruise with Nana," and he was like, "With Nana?" And then, like, he says words and stuff, and but I don't think he was understanding that I wasn't gonna be there when he gets home, because he's not even 2 yet. He's 21 months this month. So, he's still at that stage where he's understanding pieces of things. But the last time we left him, we went to Costa Rica, and we left him with my parents, and he that was his first time sleeping over at someone's house. So first time sleeping over for, it was only like it was 3 nights, and it was a little bit weird for him, and he really missed us. And he's at the age where he has feelings, and misses he misses people now. He really does, and I think he misses his now. He's keeps saying nan, like he'll randomly say Nana, like when I pick up my phone, that means he wants me to call her, or he misses her. And then he calls Grandpa Ampa, 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 Ampa. So when he's on FaceTime with my mom, he's like, Ampa, Ampa, where's Ampa, Ampa? And like, he misses my grandpa. So, well, his grandpa. So yeah, he's getting to that stage where he has real feelings, and like, we need to watch out for that. And I mean, I don't normally go anywhere. I mean, actually I do. So I go to work trips. I had one in January, but I don't think he was old enough to miss me then. And then I have one coming up in August. And then Costa Rica was like a once in a thing where we didn't bring him. Normally for trips we bring him, but we couldn't bring him for Costa Rica because it was adults only. And then this cruise is literally 2 weeks after Costa Rica, so he's gonna be a little surprised that mommy is going away again. But I also have to also make sure that I am not having any mommy guilt at all, and that I'm creating healthy separation, or healthy relationships, because at the same time I don't want him to be so attached to me that he doesn't allow mommy to do anything by herself, or anytime like I'm gone that he's crying or he's acting up, which he doesn't really do that yet or at all. Like, he's good with people, and he at first he's a little shy, but he's good with people, and like, he's very personable, and he doesn't cry when we leave him or anything like that. But I think, like, he loves his mommy, and obviously he loves his daddy too, but I think We also have certain routines that I know he's going to miss me during those certain routines. Like nighttime, we have a whole routine for nighttime. And I know he's going to kind of miss me because he's like, okay, well, mommy's not doing this. Why is mommy not here to do this? So, but I also have to make sure that I'm prioritizing myself because, he's about to be 2 in August and mommy needs a life, right? I don't like, he's always with us. Like, my son is always with us. I think last month, not last month, the month before then, March, when I did my sewing class, that was like my first time ever, like basically doing something for myself, like really. Obviously, I go to Target, to get, like, I'll go to the spa or have a day out, like, here and there. But the sewing class was kind of that separation where I was able to, go for 2 hours, have a sewing class, and then do Publix run. And it's still like errands. So like I don't go to the club, I don't go out, I don't do no crazy things. I don't go out with my friends like that. Like I don't do nothing crazy like where I'm going on trips every month without him. I don't do that. Normally with the trip he comes. So also I think I need to create some healthy boundaries, and I think this is a way to. Speaking of sewing, y'all, why ain't sew since the whole dress debacle? I literally haven't touched my sewing machine since, and I got to change out the needle. I got to do all the things. I got to make sure my machine is good. But yeah, I haven't touched my machine since. And the thing is, I still want to create my cosmetic bags, and I also bought a new towel to create my cosmetic bags. But I just haven't had the chance or the energy or the time to do it because I've been focused so much on the business. And obviously that's something that can add on to the business, the cosmetic bag. But at the same time, like, I have to focus on the inventory that I currently have before I start hand making or making new inventory. So I really need to get onto that, but it's not even so much getting back into it to basically create something for the business to sell, but it's also getting back into it because it's therapeutic for me. It's also something that I like. It's also something creative. And I just need to start prioritizing that in my life. So I think that I need to make some time for that, at least like carve out some time to be able to do that and prioritize that. I also like have some new projects like in mind that I want to do, like even just for myself that I want to try to sew. And then I also want to practice more on working with patterns, because I think that's the downfall for me, what happened with the dress. But also it was my first time working with the pattern, so obviously like that was probably gonna happen. And I just have to be okay with that. Like, mistakes happen, but I also don't want it to be like, okay, well, are you not gonna create because of this one mistake that you made? I don't want that to be. So I definitely got to get back on the sewing machine soon. So right now I'm going back home to get ready. Well, I'm already ready, honestly. My bags are all packed and I'm ready to go. But now I have to wait for my mom to basically drive to our meeting spot where we're going to meet, because she lives about an hour and a half away from me. Hour and 45 maybe, give or take. So she lives quite away. So she's meeting me halfway, or even, yeah, I guess you would say halfway, at the halfway mark where she, where I'm gonna go pick her up. Me and my husband's gonna go pick her up. Then from there, me and my husband is going to, we're gonna, well, I'm gonna probably, my husband's gonna drive us down to the port right from there. So we're just leaving straight from there. So I'm gonna go home and probably just relax, to be honest. Okay, so we have officially made it to our room, and so we are actually on the Norwegian Getaway. It's only a weekend cruise, so not like a huge, like a long cruise. Me and my mom wanted to just do it for the weekend, and this is the room. So this is the balcony room, but it's the basic one, and it's very spacious. So this is the bed if they put it together, but they can also separate the bed if you don't want to sleep with someone. They were supposed to separate it, but I don't mind sleeping with my mom. But it's been so long since I actually slept with her. But hey, we're gonna figure it out. They have a fridge. So this is the fridge here, and it already has things in there, but obviously I'm not paying extra for none of that. But there's a fridge if I want to put something in there. And then let me show you guys the bathroom. So this is the bathroom. It's also very spacious as well. And then this is the shower in there. So we got on the ship around, we checked in around like 12:30, and as soon as we got onto the ship, you have to go to the emergency, forgot what they call it, but this is an emergency place. There's an emergency, you have to literally go to this place before you go anywhere on the ship, because they want to make sure that you know where to go. So that was the first thing we did, and then right where it was, there was a restaurant. So this is the first time I've ever did sitting down lunch when I onboarded on a ship. So usually when I onboard, the immediate thing I do is go straight to the buffet. That's all I know. I just go straight to the buffet, and that's that. But this time since we were in the area, we went to the sit down lunch, and it was actually pretty good. So we had corn hush puppies, which was a vegetarian meal, but it was so good. Like, I would even make that at home. It was really good. And then we had I had a cheeseburger, which, I mean, cheeseburger is a cheeseburger. Like, there's nothing dramatic or anything eye-popping about it. And then we had and then I just had an ice cream. So after that, we're like, okay, like, let's go to the room and check out the room. Normally when I get on the ship, I get on very late. That's number one. We're like literally the last people to get on, because we always pick the last time. This time I had to go just a little bit early because my mom forgot to check in, which is so not like her, but she forgot to check in. So we wanted to make sure that we go early. So normally when I come, I'm ready. I can go straight to my room. This time we couldn't go straight to our room. So after lunch, we're like, okay, like, let's go see if the room is ready. All the rooms weren't ready. So then we're like, okay, so we got to go do something else. So we went up to the pool deck, which was super packed, and people were everywhere, obviously waiting for their room as well. And we finally, eventually, like maybe 30 to 45 minutes, were able to go in our room. They made an announcement. So yeah, so now we're trying to plan out what we're doing today. Like, they have like this daily freestyle type of itinerary, and you can really pick what you want to do. And my husband told me, look, take advantage of this cruise because, you know, you're baby free. You know, my son is not here. I can really explore and really take advantage of the cruise. And I don't know the next time that I'm going to have another vacation that he's not in. But I never get the charm bracelet. So I never get the charm bracelet when I come on cruises. I do want to get it today. And then also Effie is giving out something as well. So I want to go to that. I want to take advantage of all of the shows. So like there's like a big fun game show. They have like they have a comedy show. I want to go to the comedy show, but the only thing I hate about the comedy show is they always have it in a small little bar situation, and it's always hard to get seating. So hopefully we can go early and get seating, and then we're just trying to decide when we want to have dinner. Since we already had lunch, we're probably gonna have dinner around like 7, but in between we could probably have a snack. And then we also can order breakfast for the morning. So I always like to order breakfast in the morning, because what you can do is you can fill out the breakfast card and then you leave it on the door, and then your housekeeper collects it and gives it to the breakfast staff, and then in the morning they bring you room service. And that's always easier because you miss the hustle and bustle of going to the buffet. You miss the hustle and bustle of like being in all that crowded area. And obviously like the buffet may have more things, but I just want to avoid that stuff. And plus I kind of want to sleep in tomorrow because I'm so tired from last night. Okay, so today we are in Nassau. So this is our day 2, I guess you would say. And that is where we have to walk to get to Nassau. And then the Disney cruise is right beside us, which I always want to go on a Disney cruise. I think I want to try it next. So last night was cool. We ended up doing? We ended up having a late dinner, like maybe around 8 o'clock. And then we actually, we went to like this Latin, like, music thing. We tried to get to the comedy club, but it was super packed. If you don't go in there early enough, you won't get seats, which I don't know why they make the comedy club so small and tiny and intimate, because it's like there's never space like in any comedy club I've ever been on a ship. So we ended up not doing that. We went to this Latin fiesta caliente type of activity or entertainment, and that was okay for a while, but we ended up honestly going to sleep at like 10 o'clock or 10:30, and I got a lot of rest, like, which I needed honestly. So I got a lot of rest, and then so we're gonna go off the ship to Nassau, check it out, which we've been here before, but I mean, why not? And then we're gonna go to so that's for Nassau, and then we're gonna come back on the ship, have lunch, and later there's a Bob Marley tribute, so we want to go see that. And then we're gonna have dinner at this noodle bar, and then probably have dinner somewhere else after that. And then yeah, that will be our night. Maybe we'll go to the club tonight because we didn't check out the club last night, so maybe we'll go tonight. But overall, it's been an okay experience. Again, I've never went on the Norwegian Getaway. The food is not the best food I've ever had on a cruise, but I'm gonna give it some more chances because it's only the second day. And then also, like, I mean, there's just like little things that are a little different, and I'll explain more later. But there's just little bit things that I'm just like kind of like okay. My lip is getting better. My son actually knocked me in the mouth, and then my lip was like bleeding, but I see the bleeding is getting better. And he bit me, so I have a bruise like right here on my shoulder. It's just, he didn't mean to bite me, but he bit me. But yeah, so the struggle is real. And I miss my son, but I'm also having a good time with my mom. And, you know, creating those healthy boundaries. But yeah, so tomorrow we're going to Great Stirrup Cay, which is their private island, Norwegian's private island. And I heard they remodeled it or recently, and I want to see what it looks like because it's been some years since I've been. So we actually booked a cabana there, so we're gonna see how the cabana looks, and yeah, and then we're gonna get up early to go get a tender. So you have the tender there because they haven't finished their actual ports area, which is so, tendering is so annoying, but it is what it is. So we're just gonna get through it and tender. We already got our spot in the tender, so we just have to figure out. We just have to wake up early. So the sleep today was definitely worth it. So tonight we're gonna party and we're gonna wake up early tomorrow. We'll see. We're not really gonna party, but you know. So one thing I do want to ask is how to like lease in Nassau. Because I was talking to my mom to see like what's next for our business, but it'll be cool to find out what the lease process is here and how much like a little booth or something would cost, because it's just easy. It would be easy to come here versus anywhere else. Obviously, if it's in Miami, obviously that's easier to go, but it's also like one of my ultimate goals is to have a store in another location. So maybe this will be it. And again, my husband is from Nassau, so he was born here, so he can get his citizenship. Oh, he can renew his passport to get a Bahamian. He actually has a Bahamian passport, so then he would have to make me a citizen, which I don't know what that process is. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah. Yeah, but you know you can get the There's nothing like eating pineapple on vacation. Like, it is like chef's kiss. So this is day 3, and I want to give you guys a recap of day 3 because literally like the day is basically over. So today was the day we went to Great Stirrup Cay, And Great Stirrup Cay is Norwegian's island. So it's their own private island that they go to mostly when they usually stop at it at least once. So today was the day that we went there, and they recently did a remodel on Great Stirrup Cay, and basically they have like a lagoon, like they have they have a lagoon, and we were able to rent a cabana, which was really nice. It was only like for two of us. It was like a couple's cabana, so it was like basically a bed. So it was like a bed, and then it had like a pagoda on top of it, and you have sides on both sides to pull down the pagoda. But it was relaxing because it was very private, and then we were right in front of the pool. But first we were in front of the music and the DJ. It was very loud, and then we had to change our position because we didn't want it to be that loud. So we ended up moving cabanas, and it was only about $180, and then we have a shore excursion credit, so we are able to apply that on top of it. So it also ended up working out. I never do like cabanas, or I never do shore excursions at all when it comes to cruises, but I do want to start. I was gonna do zip lining, but I didn't want to do zip lining by myself because my mom was not doing zip lining with me. But overall, so we had to tender to the actual island just because they are working on a dock for the island where they can dock the boat, and then you're able to walk. Because these shallow waters in the front of the island, you have to have a dock or you have to have a smaller boat. So that's why they use the tenders. And honestly, I hate going on tenders. I kind of try to avoid going off the ship when tenders are involved, just because I get seasick, and it's also a big hassle, right? Because you have to wait on the tender, you have to wait when it's ready to go, and blah blah blah. But my experience with the tender this time was very good. I did not get seasick. I did not even have motion sickness medicine with me, and I did not get seasick. The boat was very smooth, but it also depends on the weather, right? So we ended up having breakfast at a sit-down restaurant, had breakfast, then we had to go upstairs to get our towels, and then we came down and we did the tender. We were able to go on. It was nice, smooth, just like I said. Then we were able to check in to get our cabana at the lagoon. So they have different parts of the on the island. So they have the lagoon, they had like the beaches area, they had like this something called Silver Cove, and then I forgot what the last thing was called. But it's a huge island. So we are able to check in for our cabana, and then it was right in front of the pool. The pool is huge, the lagoon is huge. We also passed the splash area, so the splash area is big as well. They had beach chairs, but honestly, if we didn't get the cabana, it would have been fine too, because we went around like 10 o'clock and there were still like chairs available. There was it had umbrellas, so we would have been fine with getting a chair, honestly. Like it would have been fine. And then my mom also, she actually wanted to go on the beach, and she thought that we could switch our cabana to then go on the beach, because they had these little shells, like it's like a blue shell, and then you go inside of it and you have shade. So but they were like, no, like those are first come first serve, anyone can use them, which is good for the future, because if we come early enough, then we can do that next time. We can we can get one of the shells and enjoy like the beach. I'm not a beach girl. I love the pool. My mom likes the beach, but I prefer the pool, to be honest. So then for lunch, the lunch situation, so they have multiple like restaurants, or you can say food areas around the around the island. There's like a big grill area where I think you're able to like sit down and have food. They have a taco place, and then they had like side like tents that had food as well. So we ended up eating from the taco place, which didn't have much of a line. And then we also got burgers from like one of the tents because that was the closest to where we were. And then we also walked around, like they had zip lining on by the lighthouse, and then the lighthouse also had a store inside of it. And then I'm trying to think what else. They had another market, but we didn't get to go into it. But it's a huge island. The beach was nice. They had areas to basically sit on the beach. There's a ton of chairs where you can get away with not having a cabana if you were to come here, to be honest. Like, I was just being bougie and I just wanted cabana because I just wanted my privacy. So you don't need that. But then tendering back, we probably left around 2 o'clock because the last tender is at 4. So we didn't want to get stuck on the last tender because that's probably going to be the people that are the most drunk. It's going to be the last minute people. It's probably going to be a long wait because everybody's trying to rush off. So we ended up leaving at 2 o'clock. It was perfect timing because we got on the tender. Everything was fine. It was a nice breeze, and again, no morning, like no sickness at all. And then we got off. We came back. We returned our towels because you have to return your towels. So we returned our towels, and then we got like snacks. Like I got like pineapple, which is so sweet, and these cookies that are so good. And then now we're in the room. I took a shower. Now we're in the room. So the rest of the day, we have dinner planned at the seafood restaurant. It's called Ocean Blue, and this is the dinner that is basically you have to pay for. It's an upcharge. It's a premium restaurant, and I just wanted a specialty. They call it specialty restaurant, and I just wanted to do one specialty restaurant. I always try to do one every time I cruise, just because I want to see if the quality of food is better, the treatment is better, all that. And the food looks amazing, and normally on the last day they usually give you more food than normal just because they know this is the last day and they're trying to get rid of as much food as possible. So I think this is the perfect day. Plus today's Mother's Day. We can probably dress up, we can take pictures, and all is good. So after that, we're after the restaurant. They have this party called they have this show called Back to the 90s. And obviously I'm a 90s baby, so I do want to check that out to see what they're going to be doing there, because if it's like a Backstreet Boys NSYNC like type of vibes, hey, I'm there. Okay. And then later on tonight they're having a Caribbean party. So I think they're actually going to be serving, usually when they do the Caribbean party, they serve Caribbean food in the buffet, but also in the main dining. So I'm definitely interested to see if they're going to have some Caribbean food. But yeah, so that is the rest of our night. Overall, I guess I'll sit down and talk about the overall experience after it's all done, so that if you are going on the Norwegian Getaway, I will let you guys know exactly what to expect. I think I'm going to do either a separate video about that, or I'm going to do it at the end. But I don't want to make this video super long neither. But yeah.